Hey everyone, talking about Vicki-Lin by, I thought it was pronounced TSVGA, like just saying the letters, but I think I saw James Barry, the perfumer, say it like Svega, like it's based on a tree with a similar name. So, however you pronounce it, I'll mention in the description in the title. But the notes in this are Birch Tar, Cade, Choya Loban, Choya Naks, fir, as in the tree, not animal fur. This isn't Prin Lumros. Citronella, pistachio nut, skunk cabbage, fern, pine sap, hemlock needle, hemlock wood chip tincture. So this, I've talked about this a lot. I've always mentioned it as a reference for like really deeply intensely smoky, like fiery type of scents. I would say it will probably be the strongest that I've ever tried and most like intense that way. And I had only tried it before from like small decants, and even then it was like just opening, a tiny thing of like this size. I've told this story before, but it was like I opened it a little bit, dipped a little end of a perfume test strip in, and with two doors closed between us, my wife was like, "Did you blow out a candle?" Because she could somehow smell something like Bernie Sanders, burning type of smell. So yeah, at the time I was like, oh, I really like that, but I think it's enough for me to just have this little decant because I'm not really going to wear this. I just always want to be able to have this to smell it because I love the fiery intensity of it. But I always kind of thought about it and was like, yeah, but. And then I decided also like that it'd be great to have a bottle because what I like to do so often with, I don't know if other people do this a lot, but with my collections is just uncap something and smell it, even if I'm not wearing it. I do that all the time, at least once every other day, with at least one or more of mine at a time. Because so much, it's not always just about to me like, I'm going to wear this and smell it for 12 hours in a row, and everybody around me is going to smell it. Like, that's great too. And of course, I love that stuff. But I love just a really great smelling fragrance like that gives me this visceral reaction, and I do not need to be wearing it to enjoy it. So I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is definitely full bottle worthy. I never stopped thinking about it. This fragrance house might be closing, and I didn't want to miss my opportunity. So also, James Barry, the perfumer, has a Patreon for this fragrance house. Definitely recommend joining. I was able to get this at, I think, like 15% off, because sometimes he just like posts deals or something like, today if anybody wants to get this, you can get that. So that paid off pretty quickly, and just he posts cool exclusive stuff. I'm not affiliated, I don't make any money if you join, but I just think it's a good one to support. And wow, this is stunning quality. So I would say actually when it comes to bottles, there are so many, even though I've tried so many fragrances, probably more than most people even reviewing, I don't know, maybe not, but in terms of bottles, out of like the 3,700 fragrances I've tried, only 25 have been full bottle worthy for me. I used to blind buy cheapies when I got started and stuff, so I have experienced more bottles than that. But overall, I'm not an expert on bottles in terms of like a lot of people have hundreds in their collection and they would have more of a reference. But I would say this is definitely one of the nicest packaging that I have personally ever seen. So yeah, really nice. Kind of gold foil logo on there, nice bright color. You open it, kind of got a pop of color there, and look at this, it's just like look at this, it's yellow. It's just like resting on this, it just feels so nice and royal. It's like this is like a king coming out of the throne or something like that. The bottle feels so high quality. The cap, and this is why I wanted a bottle. I mean, among other reasons I will mention in a second what I was actually like wearing this, but because it was too risky with something this strong to have to open one of these every time. I mean, I'm so used to opening these. I open them like daily pretty much. I'm constantly trying stuff with it, but it's very easy for like a little tiny bit to get out on your finger or something like that, or just whatever when you're opening it too often. So plus that could spill. I have spilled those before. So the fact that I can just go and get like immediate hit of really strong smoky forest fire, love it. I don't know why that's such a pleasant smell to me, being from the Bay Area and now living in LA. That I've been around so many, because it's nostalgic, I guess. But yeah, this is really nice. But again, super intense. This is not something like, go check it out. And this isn't, there's no vanilla in this. Not only that, but this isn't even one of those fragrances that's like smoky, but there's like a sweet side and this and that. Like, no, this is very, very intense. So I did try wearing this. I put it on like shortly before I was going to get in the shower. actually have certain fragrances that I'll wear specifically before that so I can get a little hit of it, but then wash it off. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to just wear this for the first time before I'm going somewhere. So I wore it, and it was actually just really nice to just be able to smell my arm, and it's just like, and definitely has a really good longevity and projection for me. So there's not as, this is a 50 milliliter. It looks like a 100 milliliter because you can see there's like, but I don't mind as long as I know the milliliters. Look at how dark that is. It's like root beer or something. I like when places do that. Like Zoologist does that too. You know, it's one thing if they were just showing you and they didn't tell you the milliliters and kind of you were tricked into thinking there was more. But since they tell you, it's like I'd rather get something that looks nice and not just like some tiny thing. And I cannot imagine that I would possibly use up this whole thing because the little goes such a long way. It's not something I plan on wearing super often, but I just really love it. And it's something that I want to be able to send other people samples of sometimes too, because I talk about it so often as the reference for like a truly smoky, fiery scent. So it's just so good, and it gives me that visceral reaction that I am looking for something to be full bottle worthy for me. I would rather own a fragrance that I get that reaction from that I don't really wear that often than wear something that I just like, oh, I like it, but I don't quite get that reaction from. So excellent. I'm not putting this out there as an official recommendation, like everybody go get it, because it's not for everybody. But at the same time, I think if you're interested in fragrance, it is worth sampling just for the intensity and like, oh, wow. So yeah, and I'll link in the description too. I have a video of like top 10 or 20 most intense smoky fiery scents. This was definitely on there, and this is number one for me. But yeah, I really, really like this, and I'm super pleased to finally have a bottle. And I'll link in the description where you can get a bottle or sample. For now, actually, Lucky Scent was just out of the bottles, actually. But yeah, I'll probably just link directly to their website.